This is Cornbread's review. Hey, this is Cornbread's review. This is Cornbread's review. Talk about the hottest movies, old and new. Cinema breakdown, grasping the truth. No acting, I leave that for the cast and the crew. The capture the cool, not theatrical goose. So you better be direct or you have to produce something to break in like last minute news and keep quiet when the real boy Matt and they rules. Woo.
Yo. Y'all miss me? I missed y'all, man. Welcome back for another episode of Cornbread Movie Review. I appreciate bro, hey, I know I say that every week, but I'm serious. I appreciate y'all, all the views, all the shares, all the comments. Start commenting. Don't just text me. Comment on the YouTube post, man. That brings up the algorithm, man, so we can get this thing blown up even more. But I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Make sure y'all still continue to like and subscribe, and make sure y'all share it too, man. But hey, we back with another Cornbread Movie Review. I'm cooking up something for y'all, special. I'll be doing my top fives and stuff, but don't worry about it. But thank y'all again, and I'm back for another Cornbread Movie Review. And today, the movie we are going to discuss is Day Shift. Ladies and gentlemen, Day Shift is out now. It's on Netflix. It's rated R. If this is the first time that you came to my channel, make sure y'all look at the A Square Podcast shirts, man. Make sure you mess with us, man. Can you see it? All right, make sure y'all mess with us. But I do each movie in five different categories. All right, you got acting, cinematography, storytelling. Did I get what I bought? And then is it a must see? I add it up, spits out a Cornbread review, and then there you go. You have it. You're gonna see it ranked with the other movies I've done in 2022, man. Hey, I've done a lot of movies for y'all in the year and a half I've been doing this, man. So thanks for being on the journey. All right. First category is acting. All right. Who is in this movie? Jamie Foxx is the blockbuster. He's the one that made you even want to see this, right? So he plays a vampire hunter. He also plays, let's say, a single dad. He plays a vampire hunter dressed as a pool cleaner. So, we'll talk more about if that's good or bad or, whatever that is going on. But he really didn't play. He just played the tough guy the whole movie. A little sentimental parts with his daughter, and we'll get more into that, but just very standard acting from Jamie Foxx. We've seen him in much higher caliber movies than this one that relied more on his acting and, let's say, singing skills and stuff like that. But he's in it. Also in it is Carla Souza. She plays the queen bee, bro. She plays the top of the head vampires. First off, I want to give a shout out to Mexican actors, bro. I know she made it to the American big scene, especially in How Do You Get Away with Murder. I really liked her in that TV series, but she finally made it to let's say, a U.S. top movie. So shout outs to her. Also, another person who you probably watched this movie is because Snoop Dogg, man. Of course he's smoking. No, it's just... Come on, man. Snoop, come on, man. We gotta broaden your acting horizons, man. Come on, bro. You can't be smoking in every movie, man. That's what you do. And there's also a vampire in The Union, which we'll get more into later. But for me, acting in this movie, very, very standard, very average. Nobody stood out. They had a couple jokes, but it's a lot of stunt doubles and all that. Like, we'll get into all that, man. But acting for me is just going to get a 3 out of 5. I'm not going to say I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the quality of actors that were in this movie, but I didn't have high expectations either. So this movie, very standard in acting. All right, 3 out of 5 for me. Next category, cinematography. Now, this movie is an hour and 47 minutes. And it feels like that. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't like hurry up and get this movie over with, but I think it was complete. I wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait for the sequel to come out on this movie. Filmed in California. The normal B-roll California scenes. They from scene to scene, they showing the Hollywood sign or down LA Boulevard or Compton or whatever they're doing. So very standard LA classic filming style. All right. The budget, $100 million. very solid, especially for a Netflix movie. It seems like Kevin Hart's the only one who gets the high budget movies on Netflix. So it was good to see that this movie, people have backing behind it. Now the music, of course, during chase scenes and different things like that, I liked it. It was solid. Usually people always forget about soundtracks. I don't understand it. Like that's how you gonna get points in this category. Start building up the soundtrack, man. You have to get the totality of the cinematography, everything. Come on, man. So soundtrack, I think, is always overlooked, but this one was okay. Now you had a lot of over the top blood in this movie. I think to me that's kind of what they used a lot of their money for that CGI. CGI was just okay. Action scenes, you got a lot of that, but it's like you saw a lot of stunt doubles too. All these action scenes, but yet you could tell that it's a stunt double or a lot of CGI. So it's kind of like watching the very first Blade. Remember Blade when all the vampires at the end when they start doing that's CGI. They doing all the crazy stuff. That's what you get. I would say the only thing that's cool that I really liked was the fatalities that they were doing to these vampires, man. It was Mortal Kombat style, so I really appreciate that. So that just bumped up a little bit more, especially with the cinematography or especially with the soundtrack and stuff. So overall, this category is going to get a 3.5 out of 5 from Cornbread, okay? Next category, storytelling. Let's start with two things, bro. So you got vampires, and there's like an underground world of vampires, and there are bounty hunters. So I really like that new aspect of hunting vampires. That vampires hunting people, right? So I really like that aspect. Then you have another thing that's going on right now where you have Jamie Foxx's character like I said, he's a single parent. So going through a domestic situation or a breakup or a divorce with his ex-girl and the daughter. Now, we've seen this plenty of times where the wife is going to leave and take the kids, so I have to do this last gig, this hit, this rob this bank for y'all to stay. But they just ripped that story and said, okay, make him a bounty hunter and hunt for vampires. So he couldn't do anything else to save his kids, save his marriage, but he had to continue to kill vampires. He don't have no other skills. Or how much money was it for him to stay? Come on, man. We need these answers. Hey, producers, we need these answers. So basically the premise is you kill a vampire. The older the vampire, if it's 90, 100, 200 years old, the more money you'll get. And then obviously the higher hierarchy, you get money from that. Now, I would say the story, I was shaking my head the whole time. And then towards the end, things started to get when you pull a string of like a sweater and try to just, it's just a little string. So you pull it to try to make sure the sweater's good, but you keep pulling it doesn't break and things get worse. That's kind of how this movie went for me. You have an individual where, first off, these vampires are soft. Come on, man. I understand the top boss has got all the skills and stuff like that, but you got regular human beings killing all these vampires. Like, what's the point of being the vampire then? I don't get it. Can y'all let me know? I don't get the point of being the vampire if you don't have no skills. They just getting cooked up by Jamie Foxx and the other bounty hunter team, right? And then now they have to kill all these vampires, but yet now there's two vampires fighting on his side. I think it's a stretch. I'm sorry. The movie was a stretch. Like I said, this is a bad sweater situation. And it wasn't Christmas or holidays. You just wearing a bad sweater in the summer. That's what this movie looked like for me in the storytelling category. So overall, storytelling is going to get a 3 out of 5. I think I really enjoyed the vampire aspect, but it's like they pulled it less original in the storytelling on how we got to this situation, right? Maybe if they did a prequel, that might help out the situation, okay? Storytelling, 3 out of 5. Next category, did I get what I bought? Now, this movie is on Netflix, like I said. I think the subscription is $9.99 and then $15.99 for certain HD qualities and stuff like that. So it's a normal movie to a ticket, right? Now going into it, I already knew Snoop Dogg was going to be in it with Jamie Foxx, but there's other characters I think that highlighted throughout the story that added to the validity of what's going on, added to the context of what's going on and the storytelling. So I appreciate that it wasn't clear cut. This happened, and then you already know the movie before it ends, right? So you get little nuggets in there. And I wanted to know how these vampires get here. Not too many vampire movies are made anymore. So how do we get here? What are the vampires? What's the system? And Netflix really laid out the system, right? So all the old rules apply for vampires. So you got mirrors, you got silver, you got garlic, you got wood, etc. But you also get the hierarchy of the vampires. It's kind of like bees. Like you got the queen bee, and then everybody down works for her, right? And so I really appreciate that. But feels like I was watching vampire trivia, right? Like because you got that they don't age. Obviously the hierarchy. They don't reproduce. There's 5 different demographics of vampires that I never knew, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then they die without their fangs, I guess. Just kind of like a bee. You know, when a bee stings you, they die. So it was pretty cool to see if that's really, obviously, see if it's true. But just learning more and more about the vampires and their demographics and stuff like that. So overall, in this category, did I get what I bought? I'm going to say a 4 out of 5 because I feel like I learned a little bit more about vampires. To me, that was the most intriguing part of this movie compared to the storyline. So 4 out of 5 in that category. Now, last category, is it a must-see? I'm going to say if this movie was a video game, I would say, I would love to play it. You know, it might have to be free or like, $2.99, no disrespect. But I'd be like, oh, snap, I would love to play that. But it was just okay. This movie didn't really make sense in certain categories. I think it hindered it. And this movie was entertaining but flawed. And I think that is an issue, right? So is it must see? It's on Netflix. You can watch it anytime. I wouldn't say rush and go see it. So for me, 3 out of 5 for the must see category, okay? So overall, this movie gets a 3.5 out of 5 from Cornbread Movie Review. Check out my 2022 movies. Yeah, next time y'all see this this list, I'm going to have to break it up in 2 different categories, man, because we rolling through this thing constantly. I'm telling y'all, every week, weekly content. I'm not playing with y'all, man. But I wouldn't be Cornbread without giving y'all a forgotten movie. Once again, this is a movie where you haven't heard about it, you forgot about it, or you definitely need to double back and go watch this movie. Now, this movie came out in 2015. Won awards for this movie. I think it won Best Picture. I think Coming Out Artist too. So it was multiple top-notch artists who had great careers after this movie. And that movie is based off the 1998 group NWA, and that movie is Straight Outta Compton. Straight Outta Compton. What? Like this is the life from this is how Dr. Dre got started, Eazy-E got started, MC Ren. And it's really the staple of hip hop where they go from the hippity hip hop music to this is gangster rap, right? And especially, like I said, in the 80s, 90s, when things were looking real shaky, it still is, but things were looking real shaky between rap artists and law enforcement, and they talked about that, and especially gang culture. So make sure you go check out Straight Outta Compton, go check out Day Shift if you like. Make sure you check out any of the movies I've seen in 2022, man. Let me know if you agree, disagree, anything, debate with me. I'm always here to debate movies, man. And make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. Hey, I'll be back next week and holla at your boy. Peace.